Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start lying down on your back. Bring your legs long and heavy in front of you. Bring your arms down by your side. And take a few moments to connect with your breath. Just to start noticing the movement of your breath. With every exhale, allow yourself to sink a little bit heavier into the ground. And then reach your arms all the way up overhead. So you're in a big good morning stretch. Pull your fingertips away from your toes. Get nice and long here. And then goal post your arms so your elbows are out to the side. And then start to internally rotate through your shoulder joint and then bring yourself back to goal post. So we're going to take this 10 times. Just starting to find a little bit of movement and fluidity through your shoulder girdle, through your shoulder joint. And if this is more comfortable with your knees bent and your feet flat to the ground, you can take that as well. Take this nice and slow. Think of being intentional in both directions here. Maybe you find that with each set, you get a little bit further into maybe your external or your internal rotation. Notice where you're feeling tightness. If you can't get your hands all the way down to the ground in either direction, that's okay. That's just a sign that you might be a little bit tight through your external or internal rotators. Continue to breathe, nice and gentle breaths. And then after your 10th time, pull your knees into your chest, bring your hands behind your thighs, and rock and roll yourself to an upright sitting position. Come to a cross-legged position. And then take a side body bend over to your left. Bring your left arm out to the side. Reach your right arm up and over. And then with that right arm, start to take some nice big circles. Think of a backstroke first. So the right arm will go back behind you and then draw these huge circles. Let's say about 3 of these big circles in one direction. And then after your 3, go ahead and take this in the other direction. Just lightly churning through that shoulder girdle. And after your 3 in the opposite direction, bring yourself through to center. Unravel your feet, just switch to the opposite ankles on top. We're gonna take a side body bend over to the right, bring the right arm down, reach the left arm up and over, and then start to swim your left arm back into these big arm circles. So you can feel a nice openness through the front of your shoulder that can move into your chest, and then maybe even down into your bicep as well. We take about 3 circles in one direction, and then after your 3, take this the other way. Feel your left butt bone plug down into your mat. After your 3rd circle, bring yourself back up to sit. And then move yourself to a tabletop all fours position with your shoulders right over your wrists and start to move through a cat and cow. On your inhale, find a little arch through your spine, lift your chest up to your ceiling. And on your exhale, find your deep contraction, chin to chest. And just start to move through this, matching breath to movement. Spread your fingers wide and feel free to pepper in any additional movements. Maybe that's a circle through your head or your hips, anything that feels good. Just starting to find a little more fluidity through your major joints. And let's say we take one more round here and bring yourself back to neutral tabletop. Extend your right fingertips long in front of you. And then lift your right fingertips up. Now pull your right elbow back like a one-armed goalpost. Reach your right arm straight and then tap your pinky down. I'm gonna take this 5 times total. We wanna emphasize here the working arm, really the pull of that shoulder blade as you pull your elbow to your rib cage, but then also think of your supporting left hand really plugged down into the mat. Nice, controlled, and intentional movement here. Feeling the spine supported from your core. Now after your 5th time, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling and then thread your needle. Bring your right arm underneath your left armpit and then bring your right ear down to the ground. Now you can stay right here if you'd like to, or you could stretch your left arm forward. Think of like a 12 o'clock position. Continuously try to roll your heart space open to the ceiling. Just finding a little bit of length into the neck and the shoulder. And then slowly transition. Place that left hand right next to your nose. Press down into your left hand. Reach your right arm up into the air. Move yourself back to tabletop. We're gonna take all of that on the second side. Extend your left fingertips, lift your left arm. Now pull your elbow to that wide goalpost. Inhale to stretch and lower the pinkies down. So we're finding a lot of control here, lots of intention through the movement. Make sure that both of your shoulders are still square down to the ground and you're really plugged that right shoulder blade, especially the supporting shoulder, into your back. Continue to stay nice and long through the back of your neck. Energize out of the crown of your head. And after your fifth set, extend your left arm all the way up into the air. Find this open twist, this expansion through your heart space. And then thread your needle so the left arm comes underneath your right armpit and your left ear can come down to the mat. And then stretch your right fingertips towards the front of your space. And that can bring a little more twist of your heart open towards your ceiling. And just breathe here. Nice big breaths in and out. And now we slowly transition. Bring your right hand down next to your nose and press yourself back up to tabletop. Flip your toes, find a downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide, energize your heels down to the ground. We're gonna take some downward facing dog push-ups. Bend your elbows as much as you can and press them straight. We take this about 5 times. Even if it's just a teensy bend through the elbows, try to find that bend of the elbows just a little bit. And after your 5th set, reach your right leg high. Try to keep your hips square and then step your right foot so it comes between your hands. You're coming into a low lunge. Lower your back knee down to the ground and just bring your hands so they rest on your front right thigh, finding a nice opening into your front left hip flexor. From here, reach your arms up overhead. Maybe you feel a little more of a pull through the front of your left hip flexor. Continue to stamp down into your right foot and then goalpost your arms out to the side. Now internally rotate your shoulders, interlace your fingers at the base of your spine, punch your fists down, find a little bit of a lift through your heart up towards your ceiling. Continue to stamp down into your front right foot. And now release. Bring your hands to frame your front foot, flip your back toes, lift your back knee, ragdoll pose. Step your left foot forward. Bend your knees here, just let your torso, your body hang nice and heavy. And then with your knees bent, slowly roll yourself up to stand. Think of stacking through each vertebrae. Your shoulders and head are last. Open your arms to the side and then grab elbow to elbow. Bring your right forearm in front. Take a bend with your knees and start to circle this shape around to the right. So again, think of this kind of churning into the shoulder joint and then moving into the upper spine, cervical spine, thoracic spine. And let's say we do like 3 circles in one direction and then take 3 circles in the opposite direction. And maybe try to pull your elbows away from each other and see what that activeness brings into this opening. Make sure you've always got a little bit of a bend through the knees. And then after your 3rd go around, bring yourself back upright so you've still got the elbows, right forearm in front. Take a side bend to the right. Tip your body over. Feel that length all along the left side of your body. Bring yourself back to center and then tip over to the left. Keep a little bit of a bend with your knees. Bring yourself back to center and open your arms to a goalpost position and find a little taste of a back bend. Lift your heart open to the ceiling. Internally rotate as you forward fold and interlace your fingers at the base of your spine for a ragdoll with a shoulder opener. Let your head and your chest and your torso be heavy. Release your hands. Bring them down to the ground. Step your feet back for a high plank. Bend your elbows in half for a low plank. Press your elbows straight, high plank. Downward facing dog, 1 down dog push-up. Bend your elbows. Press them straight. Other side. Inhale, lift your left leg high. And exhale, step your left foot. It comes between your hands. Soften your back knee down to the mat. Bring your hands onto your front left thigh. Pause and breathe. We can never do this stretch enough. It's truly so beneficial for your hips, for your legs, and for your upper torso as well. Now reach your arms up overhead. And notice any differences in sensation you feel when your arms are lifted. Maybe you feel a little more of a pull through the front of your right hip flexor. Bend your elbows, goalpost through the arms, and then internally rotate. Interlace your fingers at the base of your spine. Punch your fists back and lift your heart up to the ceiling. Keep pressing down into your front left foot. Feel your heart crack open to the ceiling. And then release your hands down to frame your left foot. Flip your back toes and step your right foot up for your ragdoll pose. Roll yourself up to stand. Reach your arms out to the side. And then grab for elbows once again. This time bring the left forearm in front. And we're going to start to take those circles. Starting to the right. You can have a little bit of a bend with your knees. Maybe you feel your circles going a little bit deeper here. Feel nice and grounded through the feet. Very malleable in the upper body. And then after you've taken your 3 circles in one direction, go ahead and take this the opposite way. We're getting really nice and open into the chest, into the shoulders. Front body and back body opening, finding nice fluidity into the cervical and thoracic spine. After your 3rd circle, bring yourself back upright so you've still got the elbows, and then tip yourself over to the right. Make sure you've still got a little bit of a bend through your knees. Plug your left foot down into the ground. Bring yourself to center and tip over to the left. Feel that stretch and that length you can create all along the right side. Bring yourself back to center. Goalpost your arms. Internally rotate and interlace the fingers at the base of your spine. Punch your fist down to lift your heart up. And then bend your knees and find a forward fold with the spine. Release your head. Release your torso nice and heavy. And now release your arms. Bring your hands down, high plank. We take 1 tricep push-up in your high plank. Come to downward facing dog. Take 1 downward facing dog push-up, your own range of motion. We repeat a little quicker. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step your right foot forward, lower the back knee down. Inhale to reach your arms up. Goalpost your arms, internally rotate, interlace your fingers, punch your fist back, lift your heart open. Bring your hands down to frame your right foot, step your left foot forward, ragdoll. Roll to stand, open the arms wide, grab elbow to elbow, right forearm in front. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, side body bend to the right. 1 breath here. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, side body bend to the left. Come back to center. Goalpost your arms. Internally rotate and interlace your fingers. Maybe switch with the opposite thumb on top. Punch the fist back. Lift the heart open. Forward fold with your bind. Now release your hands. Step your feet back, high plank. 1 tricep push-up. Bend your elbows and press them straight. Downward facing dog. 1 downward facing dog push-up. Bend your elbows. Press them straight left side. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Step your left foot. It comes between your hands. Soften your back knee down to the mat. Reach your arms up overhead. Goalpost your arms and internally rotate. Interlace your fingers, maybe switch with your opposite thumb on top. Punch the fist down, lift the heart up. Exhale, hands frame your left foot, step your right foot forward, ragdoll forward fold, bend your knees, roll to stand. Open the arms to the side, grab elbow to elbow, left forearm is in front. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, side body bend to the right. Feel that soft bend through your knees. Inhale through center, exhale, side body bend to the left. Inhale to center, goalpost your arms. Internally rotate, interlace your fingers, punch your fist down, lift the heart open, and then bend your knees for your forward fold. Take a few moments of breath here. Release your hands, high plank. 1 tricep push-up, bend the elbows and press them straight. Always the option to come down to the knees. Downward facing dog, 1 down dog push-up to your own range of motion. And then again, slide yourself forward to plank. Bend your elbows and lower all the way down onto your belly. Flip to the tops of your feet. Bring your forehead so it's flat to the ground. And then stretch your arms out long in front of you. Now this is going to be a progression. Keep your forehead down on the ground and lift only your arms. Goalpost your arms, reach them straight, and tap the fingers down. We'll repeat this 10 times total. So what we really want to think about here is the strength of the upper spine, that thoracic spine especially. The forehead stays down to the ground, but the arms are very energized. So you lift your arms, you immediately feel that activation in your upper back into your rhomboids and trapezius, that space between your shoulder blades. And then you can find a little more work through the lats as you pull your elbows back to your side body. Now the rest of your body is released down to the ground, but that doesn't mean it's not working. Your core is still engaged here to support through your lower spine. Imagine doing this through molasses. Give yourself a little bit of extra resistance. Keep your forehead down, keep your feet down. It's especially tempting to lift the feet up. Think that you could actively press the tops of the feet into the mat. And you'll start to fatigue. That's the point here. We want to get to that moment of fatigue. After your 10th time, open your arms out to the side. Bend your left knee, bring your left hand underneath your left shoulder, and roll yourself over for a belly down twist. It's a really nice way to open through that right shoulder especially, and just a different way to get into a twist. And then slowly release, and we'll switch to the opposite side. Extend your left arm out to the side, bend your right elbow, bend your right knee, and then let your right foot fall back behind your left for this belly down twist. Maybe you try to inch your left fingertips a little further away from your body to get even more length. Breathe, nice big belly breaths here. And slowly release yourself back. Flip onto your back, however you need to bring yourself there. Bring the bottoms of your feet together, open your knees wide, and then option to end in a goalpost position with your arms if that feels available to you. This is where we'll end our series today. Back to focusing on the breath and connecting the breath to the body. Feeling nice and open through the chest, open through the shoulders, but then also nice and heavy into the upper spine and shoulders as well. Thank you for joining us today. And that's your flow.